G'day. Today I'd like to discuss factors and multiples, as well as the HCF, which is the highest common factor, and the LCM, which is the lowest common multiple. I'll explain these as we go through. Now, it's a good idea if you download this worksheet from my website, mathwithgeoboards.com, and then you can fill it out as we go through. So part A, what is a factor? Well, any natural numbers which divide exactly into another natural number are its factors. So I'll explain this on the whiteboard. Here we have 6. A factor, I said, was a natural number that divides exactly into another. 1 divides into 6. So here I'm going to write 1. 2 also divides exactly into 6. And 3 divides exactly into 6. And lastly, 6 divides exactly into 6 just once. So there are the factors of 6. There are 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, and 6. Let's have a look at another number, this time 8. Again, 1, a natural number, will divide exactly into 8. 1 is a factor of every natural number. 2 also divides into 8. 4 divides into 8. 8 itself divides into 8. So there are the factors of 8. I'd like now to return to the worksheet. I ask you to list the factors of 12. Well, the factors of 12 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Part B of the worksheet lists the factors of some numbers. So the factors of 12 we've already listed. They were 12, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you notice I did them backwards. I find it easier to do them backwards when we're asked to list them. I want you to fill out this little table here. So for 15, 5, 3, 1. 30, 15, 10, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. 36. Now in part C, we are finding the highest common factor. Common means shared. So we're talking about a factor that these two numbers, say 12 and 15, share. And we want the highest one they share. We can see that the highest one they share is 3. So that's the HCF. When we look at 12 and 30, we can see that the highest one that they share is 6. (15) and 42. 15, 42. It's 3 again. 36 and 48. That's 12. And here we have 3 numbers, 30, 36, and 42. We can have any number of numbers and find their HCF. You can see the answer is 6. what is a multiple? Well, if you multiply any natural number by another natural number, they are its multiples. And I'll explain that on the whiteboard. I said that a multiple of any number is that number times any natural number. So here we have 6. So if I multiply 6 by 1, I get 6. 6 by 2, 12. 6 by 3, 18. You see, so the multiples of 6 go like this. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, and so on. It's an infinite set. Unlike factors, which are a finite set, multiples are infinite sets. So here I have 8, and the multiples of 8 would be 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and so on. As I said, it's an infinite set. Now I wish to return to the worksheet and do an exercise on multiples. In the bottom half of the table on page 1, I'd like you to fill out the multiples of each of the numbers. So 12 will be 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, and 72. The first 6 multiples in each case: 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, and lastly 48. 48, 96, 144, 192, 240, and 288. I want to have a look now at the lowest common multiple, or the LCM. Now common, as we've already discussed, means shared, and lowest means lowest. So where we have two numbers like 12 and 15, we are looking for the multiple they share that is the lowest one. So in the case of these two numbers, you can see it's 60. If we look at 30 and 36, it's 180. (15) and 30, well, the first multiple of 30, remember, is 30. And 15 is a factor of 30. So their LCM is in fact 30. 36 and 48, it's 144. And 12 and 30, well, it's 60. I hope by using these tables you understand the idea of the HCF and the LCM. And on page 2, I'm going to show you the algorithm that's used to find the HCF and the LCM. Firstly, the HCF. We divide by a common factor until it's not possible to divide any more. So when I look at 48 and 60, I can easily see that 2 is a common factor, and that will give me 24 and 30. And then I think, well, 3 is common to both those, so that will give me 8 and 10. And again, I can divide by 2, and that will give me 4 and 5. And then I cannot divide any more. So the HCF is 2 by 3 by 2, which is 12. Equals 2 by 3 by 2, these divisors. Now the LCM will be 2 by 3 by 2 by 4 by 5, and that will give me, let's try the next couple of examples. So let's begin by dividing by 9, and that gives me 6 and 8. But I can divide by 2 and get 3 and 4. And then I cannot divide again. So my HCF is 9 by 2, 18. And my LCM is 18 times 3 times 4, which is 216. Number C. 9 is a divisor, and this will give me 9 and 12. But then I can divide again by 3 and get 3 and 4. I can't divide again, so my HCF is 9 times 3, which is 27, and my LCM will be 27 times 3 times 4, which is 324. Example D. I'll try 2 to begin with. That will give me 49 and 70. I know that 7 is a factor of both those numbers, so I get 7 and 10. I cannot divide again, so my HCF is 14. My LCM is 14 times 7 times 10, which is 980. Moving on to example E, you'll see I have 3 numbers. But finding the HCF and LCM of 3 or even more numbers is quite normal. We have to find a common factor to begin with, and a quick check shows me that all these are divisible by 9, because 5 plus 7 plus 6 is 18, 7 plus 2 is 9, and 9 plus 0 is 9. So that's a good start. And that gives me 64, 80, and 100. Well then, 2 will do for my next factor, which gives me 32, 40, and 50. 2 again will give me 16, 20, and 25. My HCF is 9 by 2 by 2, which is 36. But in the case of the LCM, I keep dividing if any 2 of the numbers are divisible by a factor. And here you'll see that 20 and 25 are divisible by 5. So what I do is divide by 5, bring down the 16, and divide the other 2 numbers by 5. But again, I see that 16 and 4 are divisible by 4. So I divide by 4, which gives me 4 and 1, and I bring down the 5. Now my LCM will be 9 by 2 by 2 by 5 by 4 by 4 by 5, which is 14,400. Let's go to our final example, which is F. So I'll begin with 3. And I get 72, 84 and 320, which I can then divide by 2, 36, 42, 160, and 2 again, 18, 21 and 80. So that's as far as I can go with the HCF. So the HCF is 12. But for the LCM, I must keep dividing if any two of these are divisible by a factor. So 3, I'll just bring down the 80, 6, 7. And then 2, 3, 7, 40. So my LCM will be 3 by 2 by 2 by 3 by 2 by 3 by 7 by 40. 60,480. If you feel you need some practice with this, I would suggest you do another couple of worksheets on the LCM and the HCF. They're readily available